All right, have you ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of spreadsheets? I think we've all been there. Well, today, we're going to look at how one organization totally escaped that data mess. We're going to break down their journey from a super chaotic, file-based system to this sleek, centralized dashboard. And hopefully, we can all learn a little something from their transformation. So, let's dive in.
You know, at its core, this is really a tale of two different worlds. On one side, you've got the old way. Think of a chaotic universe of manual CSVs and Excel files. They're scattered everywhere, they're static, they're just slow. But then, on the other side, you have the new way, a single, dynamic, searchable dashboard, a place where information is always up to date and literally at your fingertips.
So which one delivers more value? I mean, it seems like a total no-brainer, right? But it's actually a really important question to ask about our own work. Just think about it for a second. How much time, how much value are you losing when critical information is just locked away in all these disconnected files? Okay, so let's really dig into the problem they were facing here. We need to understand the before picture. Imagine this. Every single week, there's this flood of new scientific literature that has to be managed. And the system they had, well, it was creating way more problems than it was actually solving.
And here's what that weekly grind actually looked like. First, someone has to conduct a manual search. Then, they take all that valuable data and have to painstakingly compile it into a spreadsheet. After that, an admin has to manually upload it. And only then, after all those steps and all those delays, can the clients finally get their hands on it. It's a whole chain of friction points, one after another.
So how do you fix all that inefficiency? What's the answer? Well, the solution was to build one central hub, something to replace all that chaos with some much-needed clarity. And that solution was the Shudarsana Literature Search Dashboard. And you can see their thinking right here in the system's mission statement. It gets right to the heart of the matter. See, the goal wasn't just to, store data. It was to create a single source of truth. And that right there is a complete 180-degree turn from the old way of thinking.
So what does that buzzword, single source of truth, actually mean? Well, it's all about eliminating those version control nightmares. We've all been there, right? No more wondering, is this the latest file? Or wait, is some data missing from my copy? It means everyone, the internal team, the client, everybody is looking at the exact same real-time information. Game changer. Okay, so with that solid foundation in place, let's shift gears and look at what this all means for the most important person, the end user, the client. Because the focus completely shifts from just delivering a pile of data to providing instant access to actual insights. So, picture this. This is the very first thing a client sees when they log in. Instead of being hit with a long, boring list of files, they get this immediate, visual breakdown of the research by category. Right away, you can start spotting trends at a single glance. It's powerful.
And when they're ready to dig a little deeper, boom, they get this super clean, sortable list view. If you've ever used a database like PubMed, this is going to feel instantly familiar. It's designed to be completely intuitive, letting you just scan titles, journals, and relevance scores without any friction at all. Okay, but this is where the real power comes in. The client isn't just a passive recipient of a file anymore. No way. They become an active explorer of the data. They can instantly search by keywords, filter by a date range, isolate only the high-relevance articles, or even zero in on a specific drug. Whatever they need, the information is literally just a few clicks away.
So that's the client side of things, and it's pretty fantastic, right? But what about the internal team, the people who have to manage all this? Well, let's take a quick peek behind the curtain, into the engine room that powers this whole system. This is all about control and security. The whole platform uses what's called role-based access. So think of it this way. The internal admins, they have the keys to the kingdom. They can add, edit, and manage the data. But the external clients, they get view-only access. This is so important because it lets them see and export everything they need, but without any risk of them accidentally changing or deleting that core data.
And remember that painful weekly task for the admin? Well, that's been totally transformed too. They can still use a CSV for big bulk uploads, which is handy. But now, the system itself does the heavy lifting. It runs automated checks to catch things like duplicates or missing info before they become a problem. Then, once it's uploaded, the data is instantly and securely available to the right clients. All that friction, just gone.
So, after all that, what was the real-world impact of these changes? What does it all add up to? Well, let's talk about that transformation from just raw data into actual usable insights. I love this before and after comparison because it just crystallizes the whole change. You're going from operational inefficiency, scattered files, a total lack of transparency, to a centralized digital system with full client transparency. And this is the kicker, it turned what was a cumbersome manual task into a scalable premium service they can offer.
And let's talk about speed for a second, because the performance is seriously impressive. This system was built to load lists of over 10,000 records in under 3 seconds. Think about that. That's not just a convenience. It's a testament to a quality build that actually respects the user's time.
You know, a system like this can't just be about solving today's problems. It has to be a foundation for the future. And that means you have to be thinking about things like security and scalability right from day one.
And that's exactly what they did. The architecture was built on 4 key pillars. First, secure authentication on every single page, no exceptions. Second, a design that's built to scale, ready for more clients, more drugs, more data. Third, daily automated backups. You gotta have that peace of mind. And finally, that strict role-controlled access we talked about to make sure the data stays pristine.
And this final quote from the system's blueprint just sums it all up perfectly. This project wasn't just about building a new tool. It was about fundamentally changing the very nature of their service, elevating it from a clunky manual process into a high-value, premium, and scalable offering.
So, as we wrap this up, it really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. After seeing this incredible transformation, from files to flow, from manual to automated, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's that one manual process in your world that's just begging for a transformation like this?